Alright, full disclosure from the beginning of this video. Yes, I am shooting this on the iPhone 12 Pro. However, I had to turn off the Dolby Vision HDR thing because as soon as I try to put an HDR video into my Final Cut timeline on my Mac, it freaks out. It's all overexposed. I don't even know how to color correct it. It's a big mess. It's some weird version of HDR that is not compatible with Final Cut Pro, ironically, on the latest version too. So I don't have the time to try to make that to work, but I did at least want to keep you guys posted with this week's vlog about how, for one, grateful I am for this job. It's amazing. This job's a joke, and I may talk about this a lot, but I want to really get my point across that I consider my job to be a blessing, and I don't consider it to be something I should take for granted or something I should even expect to always be here, always be around. I mean, earlier this year with the copyright strikes we got and everything, I now realize how simple all of this could fall apart, especially YouTube, you know? How little could change with policies or YouTube's algorithm or how YouTube decides to issue copyright strikes. So little things could change that could completely demolish my entire way of life, which is why I'm thinking a lot about YouTube these days. And I'm thinking about how it's probable that at some point in the next 10 years, some type of massive, colossal issue could fall into place with YouTube that prevents me from doing what I'm doing right now. You know, it's kind of like Andy from The Office ending season 9 by saying, I wish you could remember the good old days while you were in them. That's what I'm trying to do right now, because I'm trying to look at right now as the good old days, even though I know it's 2020, everything's falling apart. But I try to remind myself it could always get worse, right? Because it's crazy for me to bring this up, but honestly, I still have a lot of dreams about being in school. And just last night even, I was having another nightmare, and it was about like a teacher asking me about a pamphlet that I did not have ready yet, or asking me questions or quizzing me on a book that she had just handed out and expected us to already have read it. And then the teacher started throwing stuff at me. And not that this is really a reflection of what actually happened, but high school and middle school and stuff, it was stressful, and it was a lot of pressure on me as a student and a lot of anxiety that I'm sure a lot of you who are still students or still in school right now are feeling. And it's crazy to me that I've been graduated now. I've been out of high school for over 4 years, and yet I'm still paranoid about it. Like, I'm still having nightmares about it. And honestly, I want to live my life in a way that every decision I make is ensuring that I don't have to go back to school again, which may sound weird, may sound bizarre. Maybe I shouldn't be so hesitant towards it, but I don't know, just lots of negative memories and sad memories surrounding going to class and going to college and going to school that I want to ensure that, you know, financially and the way I live my life, I'm able to ensure that I'm able to have control and to feel free from school and free from having a boss again and free from having people that are telling me how to spend my time or people telling me how to live my life, which is, I guess, maybe why I have so much fears of school, is people acting like they knew what was best for me and always telling me, this is what you have to do and you have to listen to me. And in the back of my head thinking the whole time, they're wrong. And I want to prove them wrong. And the only way I can do that is if I go out on my own and I become my own person and I create content and I create my own job and I make a living and I'm successful at it. And I guess maybe it's a subconscious fear of mine that perhaps YouTube is going to fall apart. It's not a matter of if, but when. And when it does, how am I going to handle the destruction? How am I going to survive without YouTube? And honestly, I will admit, when we were facing copyright strikes at the beginning of this year, and it felt like we were only one strike away from losing all of my YouTube income, we did kind of have a bit of a plan B. I started thinking about, you know, reviving the Patreon and doing more exclusive content for that, and also doing Twitch more often, and just kind of becoming a full-time Twitch streamer and that kind of thing. Don't really have any set in stone plans, but, you know, time and productivity would open up for those types of things that aren't open now, because obviously YouTube is my primary source of income, and it's not like this could be combated with a sponsorship of any kind, because what I'm talking about is losing my whole YouTube channel, and whether I did sponsors or not wouldn't make a difference. But essentially what I'm trying to do right now is treat every single paycheck as if it's my last one. So in case some of you are wondering how much I'm making or why am I not spending spending all this money on new stuff or buying nice things or buying big extravagant items or new tech products and that kind of thing. You know, I'm still buying some new stuff that I figure crucial, and I don't think it's harming my channel to not buy some tech products. Or the big one, obviously, on a lot of people's mind is, Drew, buy a Tesla, do this, obviously, buy this or buy this. But the truth is, I'm trying to be ever so smart with my money, like someone who would wisely win the lottery. That's kind of how I'm viewing YouTube right now. Is obviously, I love it, and I think it's amazing, and I would love to do this forever. I would love to just keep making YouTube videos, and I would love to keep uploading and just do this indefinitely. I feel like I could because I enjoy it so much. And the fact that Google themselves is willing to pay me for it, or there's people willing to donate on live streams and stuff, I still have a hard time wrapping my brain around why or how that happens. Like, how does anyone put a value on this type of content, which I don't think is that hard to make, and I don't think requires that much effort or energy, and yet this is how much I'm getting reimbursed for it? I feel like I'm undeserving of this kind of stuff. So that's why, you know, we're saving and we're investing and we're trying to make sure that we can develop passive income and not have to worry about jobs. And hopefully after a certain amount of time, it wouldn't matter even if YouTube crashed and burned and I couldn't get any income from it, because we will have built up our investments and built up our passive income in a way that we don't need to work. Not to say that we're not going to work, it's just that we wouldn't have to, and we could use that money towards other things. And I want to ensure that I make the most of every dollar you guys donate, or every dollar that Google ends up paying me, because I do truly see it as temporary. I really do. I think that it could end up falling apart, and it would not take much. You know, it could just be one policy update, one change that goes online that says, oh, it turns out if you even show a photograph that you don't legally own, then we're going to copyright strike you for that, and we're going to penalize everybody. And that would be a huge issue for all kinds of YouTubers. I know, and I acknowledge that, but still, even then, I want to be prepared for the worst. I want to be prepared for another adpocalypse or YouTube crashing and burning. And I think even if we did go full-time on Twitch and Patreon, I could probably make enough to still keep the lights on, pay the bills, which is why we're so grateful that we've lowered our monthly expenses as much as possible, not have to worry about rent anymore, lowering the cost of things like our phone bill and our internet bill, and working on lowering iCloud storage subscriptions and that kind of thing, and just making sure we don't waste any money and no penny goes unaccounted for, which is why we budget so heavily and make sure that our food budget doesn't exceed a certain amount, and we're trying to be careful with that kind of thing. But I hope everyone watching this doesn't look at it as, oh no, Drew's paranoid, Drew's losing his mind, he thinks YouTube is going to explode at any time. That's really not the life I'm living. I'm just trying to lower my expectations and assume, hey, guess what? You know what? This dream job you're living right now, this amazing lifestyle of being able to make videos about whatever you want and have people watch them and then have a company pay you for that, which is just a dream come true, and I still can't believe it's real. I don't want to take this lifestyle for granted, and if it does end up falling apart, I will at least be able to say, yep, I expected that, it was going to happen, and it was fun while it lasted, and now I'm going to save and invest and appreciate as much as I can the money I did make during that time. So I'm not going to be overly heartbroken or in tremendous debt if YouTube does fall apart. I just, again, don't want to take it for granted, want to make the most of it. And with that in mind, I am going to keep on sitting in my sweatpants and socks in my chair and watch YouTube videos as I make YouTube videos and interact with all kinds of amazing creators out there. You guys are awesome. You know who you are. And I'm so thankful that even during the pandemic, I'm able to sit here at home and relax and hang out with my wife. And thank you to all of you who have made this possible by watching or donating. And let's make the most of this, huh? Because it's probably not going to last, so I'll take as much of it as I can. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.